Hi, my name is Matthew Craig and I'm going to be giving you a brief introduction to Model United Nations. Now, Model United Nations go by a few names. There's, of course, Model United Nations, the long formal way to say it. There's Model UN, the slightly shorter way to say it. And then there's MUN, the cool way to say it. But what is Model United Nations? Well, to somebody who hasn't really done it before, it can be a bit confusing. To put it simply, Model United Nations is a bit of a mix of theater and speech and debate. And now, what is it you actually do in this combination of things? Well, if you know anything about the United Nations, you'll basically be ready to go. You see, the United Nations is this international body where countries from across the world meet in all different types of bodies that have all different types of responsibilities. And these countries and organizations meet together and they negotiate. They try to solve the world's problems. And there's a few ways that you're going to be doing this in a Model United Nations simulation. First and foremost, you're going to be giving speeches. And now a lot of people are afraid of public speaking, but you're going to have to trust me on this one. It's not as scary once you get good at it. And once you practice and you get used to standing in front of an audience. But what you're going to be doing is standing in front of an audience and saying your case. Why you think that this should be where we go with the direction. Why we should promote education. Why we should do all these different types of things that better the world. Another thing you're going to need is research. You see, a delegate that doesn't know what they're talking about is a delegate that does not go very far in Model United Nations. Because if you want to solve the world's problems, they have to be based off of evidence and facts. And what you do in a Model United Nations conference, and even what you do months leading to a Model United Nations conference, is you research. You sit down and you try to find the perspective of every single country you can think of. You try to figure out what is their policy on this, what is their policy on that. Is this a viable solution? Is this not a viable solution? Because inside of this conference, you're going to be representing these countries. So you'll need to know the policies of the United States. You'll need to know the policies of China. You'll need to know the policies of Brazil. You'll need to know the policies of pretty much any country that you think you could possibly work with. Another thing that you're going to learn how to do is negotiate. You see, negotiating is one of the most important skills that you can learn at a Model United Nations conference. Because during a conference, what you're going to be doing is getting inside of groups, meeting other delegates who are representing their own countries, and you're going to be trying to find a common solution while still trying to promote your country's interests. And there's a few ways you can do this, but we'll go on about that in a later video. Another thing that you'll need to do is understand the writing process. Because as you go inside of a conference and you form groups and you start working on a draft resolution, which is essentially a piece of legislation that's an international recommendation of what to do, is you're going to need to be able to write these ideas down and articulate what you want to do in a United Nations format. Because these draft resolutions eventually turn into actual resolutions that everybody votes on at the end of a conference. And throughout the entire day to 4 days to whatever type of conference you find in Model United Nations, is you're going to find that having all 4 of these aspects mastered and known is going to make your life significantly easier. And those 4 aspects are public speaking, research, writing, and of course negotiation.